Are you not confident in speaking English? Do you find yourself thinking, I know the words, but I can't seem to say them out loud? Does your heart race, your mind go blank, and the fear of making mistakes freeze you in place every time you try to speak? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. So many people feel the exact same way, and it's completely normal to be scared. But here's the thing, if you want to become a confident English speaker, you need to stop waiting for the fear to disappear. You have to face it. When I first started learning English, I thought that the only way to speak confidently was to know everything perfectly. I believed that if I made any mistakes, people would laugh at me, or worse, they wouldn't understand me. I kept thinking, what if I sound stupid? Or what if I mess up and embarrass myself? And you know what? I stayed quiet for a long time because I was so afraid of making mistakes. I thought that if I just kept silent and practiced in my head, the fear would go away. But it didn't. Do you want to master English? Our top-rated course covers grammar, speaking, pronunciation, and writing. Learn fast and speak with confidence. Link in the description. Maybe you're feeling the same way. Maybe you avoid speaking because the fear feels overwhelming. Or perhaps you wait for the perfect moment when you'll feel more ready or when you think you'll know everything. But that moment? It never comes. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to speak. It's like waiting for a storm to pass when all you really need to do is take the first step. I realized something important after a while. The only way to get better is to speak, mistakes and all. The more you speak, the better you get, and the less scary it becomes. I know that sounds easier said than done. But let me tell you this, every successful English speaker I know didn't become fluent by avoiding mistakes. They became fluent by making them. By speaking. They spoke through their fear, through their mistakes, and kept pushing forward. At first, the mistakes felt like mountains. I would get embarrassed just thinking about speaking. But as I kept practicing, I realized those mountains were just small hurdles. The fear wasn't real, it was just something I'd built up in my mind. It took time, but the more I practiced, the more I spoke, the more I grew comfortable with myself and my mistakes. I learned that it was okay not to know everything. And you know what? I wasn't the only one who didn't know everything. Everyone, even the most fluent speakers, had moments when they felt unsure. The key was not letting those moments stop me. So, let's be honest, speaking English isn't always easy. I understand. I still have moments when I hesitate before speaking. I still have doubts sometimes. But the difference now is that I don't let those doubts control me. I take a deep breath, push past the fear, and speak. Every time I do, I get a little more confident. Every time, I feel a little braver. And that's what you need to remember. Confidence in speaking comes from practice, not perfection. Let's start with one small change in your mindset. Stop thinking that you need to speak perfectly in order to be good at English. It's a myth. You don't have to be perfect. What matters is that you try, that you take action, that you speak even when it feels uncomfortable. The more you practice, the more your brain gets used to forming sentences in English. Eventually, it becomes second nature. You don't even think about it as much. It just flows. Now, I know many of you might be wondering, but what if I sound silly? What if I make mistakes and people laugh? Trust me, I've had those thoughts too. It's normal to feel that way. But here's something I learned: most of the time, people don't care about your mistakes. They care about what you're saying. They care about you making an effort. And let me tell you, the effort is what matters most. Once, I had a conversation with a native English speaker who made a mistake in their speech. Can you guess what happened? They didn't get embarrassed. They just corrected themselves and kept talking. Why? Because they understood that mistakes are part of the process. And that's something I want you to understand too. Mistakes aren't failures, they are opportunities to learn and grow. Every time you speak, you're one step closer to becoming the confident speaker you want to be. One of the things that helped me was finding a safe space to practice. I didn't start by talking to strangers or speaking in big groups. I started by talking to myself. I know it might sound strange, but it's an excellent way to get used to speaking without the pressure of judgment. Try this. Take a few minutes every day to talk out loud in English. You can describe your day, talk about your plans, or simply narrate your thoughts. This way, you're slowly becoming more comfortable with the act of speaking. Then, once you're comfortable with that, start talking to people around you. It could be friends, family, or anyone you feel safe with. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become. And if you make a mistake, it's okay. They won't judge you, and neither should you. Each mistake is one less fear you have to face. It's like peeling back layers of a fear that's been hiding under the surface for too long. I remember the first time I spoke to someone in English outside my comfort zone. I was so nervous, my palms were sweaty, and I almost walked away. But I didn't. I took a deep breath, smiled, and spoke. And guess what? The person didn't laugh. In fact, they encouraged me. They appreciated the effort, even if I made a few mistakes. From that moment on, I started realizing that the world isn't as scary as it seems when it comes to speaking English. People are understanding. People are kind. And most importantly, people are supportive when they see you trying your best. So, here's what I want you to do today: speak. Speak to yourself. Speak to others. Take that first step, even if it's small. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to know everything. But you do have to speak. It's the only way to grow. The only way to improve. And yes, you will make mistakes. But so what? The most important thing is that you keep going. Over time, you'll start noticing that the fear becomes less and less powerful. You'll start speaking with more ease. Your voice won't shake as much. Your mind won't go blank as often. And eventually, you'll get to a point where speaking English feels natural. It's not something you fear anymore, it's something you enjoy. So, let's stop waiting. Let's stop letting fear hold us back. Speak today. Speak tomorrow. And keep speaking. With each word, you're getting closer to the confident English speaker you've always wanted to be. And remember, mistakes aren't failures. They're the stepping stones to success. You've got this. One thing I want to remind you of is this: you are not alone in this journey. Everyone starts somewhere. Everyone feels scared at the beginning. Every great speaker was once where you are now. The only difference is that they decided to speak. They took that first step. They embraced the fear, learned from their mistakes, and kept going. And you can do the same. Every time you speak, you're one step closer to your goal. And one day, you'll look back and realize just how far you've come. You'll see that all those little moments of speaking, all those mistakes, and all those small victories led you to the confident speaker you are today. So, if you're sitting there wondering if you'll ever be confident in speaking English, let me tell you, you will. It takes time, it takes courage, and yes, it takes effort. But the more you speak, the more confident you'll become. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for the fear to disappear. The moment you start speaking is the moment you begin to build the confidence you're seeking. Now, I challenge you, speak today. Take one small step. Say one sentence in English and see how it feels. Keep speaking, keep practicing, and keep moving forward. You are capable of more than you think. And with each word, each conversation, you're getting closer to becoming the confident English speaker you've always wanted to be. You've got this. Believe in yourself, keep going, and soon you'll realize just how far you've come. If you found this video helpful and feel inspired to take that first step towards speaking English with confidence, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. We're here to help you on your English learning journey, and we'll continue sharing tips, stories, and motivation to keep you going. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Let's learn and grow together. You've got this.